Thank you for your patience, folks, and thank you to Tony and Chris for their patience as well, working through a few things. We are going to talk with Chris Ericson, the York volleyball coach. Coach, we tried to ask this before, and hopefully this will work now. Describe what it was. You guys get to host a district final, taking on Hastings there. You guys get the victory. That flashed ball hits the floor, and the realization of getting back to state happens. So what's going through? What were some of the emotions for the girls and for you as the coaches as well?
Yeah, I think it was just a season of relief. When we finished last season at Platteview, there was tremendous letdown for the girls. They really had their eyes set on that final stage, in Lincoln, and so they were crushed. And maybe for the first time, an entire group of York volleyball girls were coming back the next year, having graduated one senior. They were able to set their goals for the next fall, on getting to state volleyball. And so then, come March 17th, the world kind of goes upside down for these girls. They finish out the school year with no classes on site, no sports. Summer is different. And so we're able to get through the summer. But then even all season long, it's just, I think everybody kind of held their breath wondering if we were actually going to finish this season. And the farther and farther we got into it, the more success, we were having. There still was, I think, that little bit of doubt that, are we really still going to get our shot to go to Lincoln? And so, yeah, I think when that ball hit the floor Saturday, I think it was kind of that sense of reality that, we're this close. We're pretty sure this is going to happen. And, holy smokes, it's pretty cool.
I want to get your thoughts on the schedule reshuffling. The NSAs had to do a lot of that as they try to make the best experience possible, which is really the goal for the NSAA when it comes to a state event. What's the best thing possible for circumstances surrounding it? But I wanted to get your thoughts on the schedule changing and everybody playing at PBA for all the games and what you think about that.
First, I guess kind of to what I've already touched on, I'm just thankful to have the opportunity to go and take part in this. Having, been to state as a coach 10 years ago, getting that preparation period shortened by a whole day, doesn't sound like a lot, but these last 2 days have been incredibly, difficult for trying to get your day-to-day job done. Getting all the arrangements put into place for tickets, to getting your T-shirts ordered, to having all the forms and paperwork turned into the NSAA, having parades for everybody. So the girls have been able to celebrate and have a little fun, but like I told them, I said I've been a nervous wreck the last 2 days that I'm going to mess something up in that little time window, and then we still have to plan a practice and keep everybody focused in the gym. But no, I think it's going to be very special no matter what. I think it's a very cool opportunity for those Class C and Class D schools to be able to get to, go be on the big stage at PBA. I've never had that opportunity as a coach. Thankfully, a few years ago, I was able to help the Strive crew out and get down on the floor. So I at least had a little bit of a picture of what to explain to the girls it's going to look like with, like you said, that big red curtain drop down in the middle. Some of the atmosphere, but I think that's a super, super cool reward for all of the teams making it to state through this whole season of change, to be able to just go celebrate, at PBA downtown Lincoln.
Let's talk a little bit about your team this year. You mentioned they were all coming back from last season, and it's a group that really, a lot of them have been playing quite a bit since freshman and sophomore year. So take us through your group this year.
Yeah, this year, if there's one thing that this team really, really, I guess, honed, would be their resiliency. I think back 2 years ago, this is a team that won 7 games. Last season they're able to advance that to 18 games and 1 win short of a trip to Lincoln. And this year, we're heading to Lincoln, sitting on 27 wins. And so, it is, like you said, it's a lot of the same girls. They get the experience, they get the confidence, but I think really that resilient piece that they've been able to put together as a team has really been a key factor in the successes that they've had this year. Look at our last two games that we played against Aurora and Hastings. We come out not really, I guess, to character that we are, lose the first set, but we're able to find things in the second sets to really lean on, generate some momentum on our side of the net. And those are things that wouldn't have happened with this group. And so, just to watch the maturity progress of this team just in 2 years it's been remarkable. And, it's been such a fun thing to be a part of.
Let's talk about the field of Class B. You guys get Elkhorn in the first round, York's the 6, Elkhorn the 3, Scott's there on the other side, so we don't have to worry about them for a while. But talk about the matchup with Elkhorn and the Antlers.
Yeah, Elkhorn, they're going to bring as big of a front line as we have seen all year long. They've got their hitter does an incredible job just moving the ball from hitter to hitter. We talked, if there's any of those top 4 seeds that are there, we know are going to be very, very worthy opponents. We've got to find ways to control things on our side of the net, come in and find a way to relax quick, not be caught up like what I told the girls, it's like the Emerald City factor when you walk into PBA for that first time. You're going to have all the flash and the glare, the flare, but just find a way to get calm down, focus on the moment, and just go be us. And so hopefully, we're able to generate some positive things early on in that match. They've played a very worthy schedule of being there, being in the Metro Conference, playing a lot of Class A schools, but I also feel like too that we've played a very, formidable schedule the last few weeks just in the Central Conference, having, 3 teams that are headed to state in our sub-district, throw Seward into that mix too. And, 7 teams from our conference are playing in this, district finals. So I feel like that we've got opportunities that we can lean on for some confidence. And, like I said, hopefully we just aren't, shouldn't get there and fall out of character of who we are and come out and compete.
Chris, thank you so much for your time today. I know we've got things to do over your lunch hour. We took a big chunk of it. So thank you for your patience and getting on with us today. Best of luck to you and the Dukes coming up in Lincoln.
No worries. Thank you guys for your coverage. As always, it's awesome. It's appreciated. We love having you part of our what we do here at York. And so, we're excited for you guys to have the opportunity to bring this to those people that aren't able to attend. You think 500 tickets, there's still a lot of people that aren't going to want to come, let alone aren't able to come. So I thank you for that very much.
You bet. All right, we are going to run down the rest of the brackets right now real quick. So we'll let Chris get back to classwork and actual day-to-day stuff. Tony Chapman is going to join us, and Tony, we've got a little audio delay here, so we don't need to see you, which isn't, as you would probably say, the worst thing in the world. But let's talk about these brackets, and let's start with Class A, where Elkhorn South is the #1 team as seed-wise. They're also one of the top teams in the country. We're going to get to the #1 team in the country in a little bit, but Elkhorn South sitting there at the top of Class A. How do you see the bracket shaking out for the biggest class?
Yeah, you've got Elkhorn South, number 12 in the nation by the AVCA USA Today poll, 27-1. The loss is to Lincoln Southwest, who's the 5th seed on their side of the bracket. Remember this Class A last year, Eric, it was topsy-turvy. You only had one high seed win in the first round, which was Pius as the 3. And PAPILLION VISTA South went all the way and won the championship, came into the state tournament at 2017. Now all those teams that were good last year, they kind of are the top seeds this year. You got Elkhorn South the 1, Papio the 4, Papio South the 2, and Pius the 3. So, some obviously great players to watch. You look at Riley Gray and Riley Gray at Elkhorn South, Madison Wooden, their setter, 945 set assists. You go down to Papillion at the 4, Nora Sis is a Creighton recruit, 478 kills. And then you look at the balance of Southwest. They have Shaylee Myers, who has 390 kills coming in. And again, they're the only team that beat Elkhorn South. And then down at the bottom, of course, the defending champs, PAPILLION VISTA South, Ava LeGrand, their talented setter. And then you've got Lincoln Pius, who has Nebraska basketball recruit Alexis Markowski, and her sister, sophomore Addison, is their setter. So there's some really good athletes in this Class A field. It's deep and loaded, and you could see almost any of these teams come out of this, just like we saw last year where you had Millard North as the 8 seed after their kind of weird regular season, upset Papio right away in round 1. So it's going to be interesting to see always how that first round goes and if those higher seeds can advance.
I think it should be a lot of fun, and it was so much fun to watch all of the upsets last year. PAPILLION, La Vista South eventually claiming that title. Let's move on because I know you got a tight window. So let's go to Class B, shall we? Where I know we should be previewing more, but let's go to Class B, where Omaha Skutt Catholic is the #1 team ranked in the country, depending on which publication you look at. But the firepower at Skutt Catholic is remarkable this year, and this is a tremendous Class B field, and it kind of feels like there's 7 teams looking up at Skutt right now.
Yeah, it sure does. When you talk about Omaha Skutt, won their 5th in a row last year, so going for 6 in a row this year. They have a fantastic team led by Lindsey Krause, 408 kills on the season. They're 32-1. They've lost 3 sets. As we said, the loss was to Lincoln Southwest. Their other set loss is to Omaha Duchesne, who actually didn't even make the tournament. So, going to be interesting to see what does Northwest do. How do they handle the lights there? 16-15. They had a slow start to the year with quarantine for the first couple of weeks, but the Lady Vikings are at state for the 20th year in a row, Eric. So the situation's not really gonna phase them much. And then you've got more great athletes as you run down this thing. I think Norris and their coach Christina Bosinger, a very talented team, and they really are led by Callie Croker, who over in Henderson area, that's a pretty familiar name there. She has 233 kills on the season, and then their other big hitter is Ella Waters, and they've beat Elkhorn a couple times. You look at the bottom of that bracket, if you have a Norris Elkhorn semi, they've played 3 times, and I think it's 2-1. So both of those teams, too, I don't think would be phased by Skutt on the other side. And then in Waverly, the 4 seed, you've got Nebraska recruit Whitney Lowenstein, and just another talented team there. They played Ashland Greenwood early in the season and beat them. So a rematch there in the quarterfinals on the top. But you really look at those top 4 seeds. All 4 of those schools were at state last year, so they've got that experience. And then Northwest as the 8 seed. You have 5 of the 8 teams returning to Lincoln this year.
Tony, let's go back to Class C1 now, and Wahoo is back at the state tournament. They're going to take on Adams Central in that 1 versus 8 game. You've got Syracuse taking on Lakeview, St. Paul, and Broken Bow, who were both at the state tournament again last year, and Kearney Catholic taking on Lincoln Lutheran. It seems like a familiar cast of characters as far as these teams. A lot of girls returning, but Wahoo, they again still have some really big firepower at the top of their lineup.
Yeah, you look at Ellie Glock, who's the USC recruit, 6-foot setter, 845 set assists on the year, and then Maya Larson, the junior, 431 kills, playing for her mom, Trish. Wahoo has lost 3 sets all year, Eric. They've played up. They've played Class B, so they've got a lot of really quality wins. And Adams Central really kind of threw this whole bracket into a tailspin here, upsetting Grand Island Central Catholic in the district final. I think GICC was lined into the 4 seed, so everybody's kind of in a different spot than they thought they might be in this bracket. But boy, the one that jumps out at you is St. Paul and Broken Bow, who played a classic semifinal last year, and they're going to get each other in the first round there at 2:00 on Wednesday. That should be a fantastic matchup. Coach Matt Kane Fairbanks has built such a great program there at St. Paul. Maybe one of the better defender liberos in the state is St. Paul senior Paige Lucas Savage. And then they've got balanced hitters with Josie Jacobowski and Jenna Jacobowski. And then, again, an athletic 6-foot setter in junior Olivia Poppert. And then you look down at Broken Bow on their side. maybe some of the better athletes in the state there as well. Callie Staples, and then the Scott twins, Kaylin and Kaya, really great athletes on the floor there. Defending champion Lincoln Lutheran is there with Kearney Catholic. So you've got all 4 of the semifinalists back in the field this year, Eric, in C1, and this should be a doozy, maybe the most competitive class top to bottom, I think, in the tournament this year.
Me, myself, being back in Nebraska for now the 6th year, it seems like C1 has always been the most competitive and the toughest to get through. The team that climbs on top of the bracket usually is pretty battle tested by the time they get to Saturday there in Lincoln. Let's go on to Class C2, which as I was looking through some of these teams, I thought for a moment, Tony, that we were going to play some 8-man football, but the way that the enrollment numbers work, boys versus girls for the different sports, we get a matchup like Clarkson Lee versus Howells Dodge in C2 volleyball. That'd be a great 8-man football matchup, of course. But the Bacon Bowl would be fun, but playing for a little different trophy on the volleyball court at Pinnacle Bank Arena. Lutheran High Northeast will be the 1 seed taking on Centennial. We mentioned Clarkson Lee taking on Howells Dodge. The 2 seed is Overton against Guardian Angel Central Catholic, and then Norfolk Catholic, the 3 seed, taking on Superior. There is another Meyer girl. In fact, there's still a couple. I think there's one more coming. Another boy in the family still coming through the Wildcat system. But that's the field in Class C2. I got to be honest, is there a huge favorite in this one? This seems very balanced as well.
Yeah, I would tell you that Lutheran High Northeast really jumps off the page at you at 33-1. They've lost 6 sets all year. Their lone loss is to Columbus Lakeview, a 3-2. And then they lost a set. They played Norfolk Catholic 3 times, beat them 3 times, but lost a set in each of those. So at the top of that bracket, you look at Lutheran High Northeast. Clarkson Lee, Howells Dodge played against each other in the one of the first games early in the season, in the first 5 games for Howells Dodge, and it's Clarkson Lee's opener. So Howells Dodge got that one. So that's a rematch. It'll be interesting to see how that goes. Overton, talented team up at 28-2. They were in the D1 field last year, and they play a predominantly D1, D2, C2 schedule. So it'll be interesting to see how them and GACC match up. GACC lost their sub-district final to Howells Dodge. This one's got a decidedly Northeast Nebraska field, doesn't it? I mean, the Norfolk Daily News is going to be busy. You got Lutheran High Northeast, Norfolk Catholic, GACC, Howells Dodge, Clarkson Lee, all right there. And then we can't ignore Superior, who is down there at the 6th seed, and that's a really great matchup with Norfolk Catholic in the first round. Of course, Superior's been in the state finals they've been in the state tournament the past 3 years, lost to GICC in a 5-set semifinal last year. And you're right, Eric, another Meyer coming, Shayla, and she's really the one who does all the work for them, 436 kills. Next highest for them is 99 for Kaylin Berry. So, but it's a younger Superior team, just 2 seniors on the team. And one of their setters, Sierra Blackburn. So a little bit more youthful Superior team this time. So we'll see how they handle that. But this one really looks like it could go any different ways. But I think Superior, Norfolk Catholic jump off the page at you. Overton, who's played a tougher schedule in their conference, and then Lutheran High Northeast on the top side of the bracket.
And we should note that as we get into Class C2, these first-round games are going to be on Thursday this year. So C2, D1, and D2, first-round games on Thursday. A, B, and C1, a reminder, they are going on Wednesday. So let's go to Class D1. Again, some familiar characters, some familiar teams, if you will, that are back at the state tournament. One of them is Pleasanton, who is undefeated again this year coming into the state tournament. They're the 1 seed. And BDS, who has won 2 straight state championships. D2 in 2018. They won D1 last year in 2019. They are back as the 2 seed, where they will take on Cedar Catholic, and they could potentially get a Bergen matchup, who is another recent state championship team. So we've got some heavy hitters with championship pedigrees in this D1 field.
Yeah, you look at those top 4 seeds, Eric, which you've got Pleasanton, BDS, Bergen, and then you've got Meade as a 4 seed there. Let's start at Pleasanton if we can. They have not lost. These girls have not lost a game since the semifinals at state volleyball last year. So they went 31-2 last year. They lost to Bergen in the semifinals. They rolled through basketball undefeated, beat Bergen in the state championship game. And boy, if those two met again, it would be quite the rubber match. So big things going on in Pleasanton. They've got a really talented team. Their setter, Natalie Siegel, 853 set assists this year. Caitlin Lindner, 6-foot middles at 342 kills, and then 229 kills. They've got Isabel Pates, and so they've just got a load of firepower on that side of the bracket. I really like their draw, but the bottom draw, man, it's tough. And BDS has got a tough draw. You look at Cedar Catholic; they have played a predominantly Class C schedule. They have no Class D losses, even though they're 17-13. So this is a tough draw for BDS. And then you've got Bergen, who also really talented team at 24-10. Their lone Class D loss is actually the D2 team in Humphrey St. Francis. So you look at Bergen, BDS, Hardington Cedar Catholic, you might not be surprised if any of those teams made it through to the finals. But one of them, with BDS and Cedar Catholic, both of them could go to the finals, but one of them is going to lose there in that first round. So that 2-7 matchup there on Thursday afternoon is going to be a good one in D1.
And then we get to the smallest class, D2, where Diller Odell comes in as the 1 seed. But Tony, there are you got to go down to the, what was I counting? You got to go to the 5 seed at St. Francis is 26-2. So if you just look purely records, like, whoa, D2 is going to be jumping, because you're going to get a Sacred Heart team at 25-6 taking on a St. Francis team at 26-2 in the first round. There would be plenty of years that would be the championship match at state, but no, that's a first round matchup this year. D2 is going to be a wild one, I have a feeling.
Yeah, D2 is going to be great. Diller Odell jumps out at you right off the top, Eric, at 30-1. The lone loss is to Fall City Sacred Heart. Addison Heidemann is their setter, 718 assists. I believe, if I remember right, she's going to go walk on at Iowa State. And then Carly Heidemann, 6'2" outside hitter, 421 kills. So the firepower is right there. Sacred Heart has played right with them, though, kind of throughout the season. You look at Sacred Heart's 6 losses, 3 of them are to Diller Odell, 2 of them to Johnson Brock, and then an early loss this season to BDS. And boy, yeah, you're right. That matchup with Humphrey St. Francis, of course, the Flyers have Nebraska basketball recruit Allison Widener, 218 kills, and their setter Peyton Eisenminger has 623 assists through the year. This is probably the one that you really look at, that late 11 o'clock ish game on Thursday morning after Diller Odell. And boy, if you could get part 4, Diller Odell and Fall City Sacred Heart, that'd be a doozy. But St. Francis Sacred Heart is going to be something. And then you look at the bottom of this bracket, Eric. You got Chambers Wheeler Central is in here at 31-1. They lost to Hardington Cedar Catholic, who came into D1 last year at the same way. They were like 18-12 and beat CWC. This time, CWC is going to get Wynot. We know how tested they are, both volleyball and basketball. They're at 18-4. And then that bottom match also, the 3-6 matchup is very intriguing. You've got a Maywood Hay Center team that has J.C. Widener at 394 kills, and then a talented sophomore class. They play 5 or 6 sophomores. They've lost just 2 sets all year, Eric. Both of those were in a 3-2 win against Juanita Palisade. And then you've got a talented Mullen team who was at state basketball last year. This is their 3rd time at state volleyball. Samantha Moore, 308 kills. And Allie Lauren, their setter, 568 set assists. But they bring a lot of balance to the table. So Mullen is a team that, even though Maywood Hay Center 28-0, I think that has a chance of being a really good matchup as well.
Yeah, D2 is going to be just a ton of fun, and I tell you, some really, really good teams. Tony, Overall for this this tournament, again, we talked a little bit about it earlier with Chris Ericson. It's going to look different. It's going to sound different. Yes, we're going to play it. Everyone gets to go from Class D2 all the way up to A, gets to play every match in Pinnacle Bank Arena. We're going to have a few less fans than what would otherwise be there, though. But the fact that we get to play in Lincoln and the fact that we get to play anywhere is maybe the most kind of the greatest thing, I think, right now. So hopefully everyone makes sure they reads all the ticket policies and everything as they get ready for a trip to Lincoln.
Yeah, absolutely. And, the one thing, Eric, I've noticed most about volleyball this year, it being the lone kind of indoor fall sport, players want to play. I mean, players are playing in mass. Coaches are doing a great job. We've had obviously a few games canceled, but it's been, really a pretty uneventful season. And the fact that we got here, we had, nice crowds. I saw at district finals on Saturday in Grand Island and Aurora and Hampton. We got, nice crowds. Everybody's got a mask on, and people were excited for their kids to be able to get to compete. So that we got to this stage is a kudos to the players, to the coaches, to our high school administrators, and it goes down to the parents even. You've got to make great decisions in your community and at home too to be able to kind of combat the spread of this. And the fact that we're going to get this state tournament in hopefully throughout these next 4 days starting tomorrow is a kudos to everyone involved.
And one thing about the tournament being moved to a 4-day event, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, of course, NET will have the coverage of the championship games as they have for a number of years coming up on Saturday. But Strive TV through the NFHS network will be streaming every single first round and semifinal game. In the past, it had been all semifinals and whatever schools kind of wanted to do their first round games. But this year, every game will be streamed through the NFHS network. And the nice thing is, I've already had some conversations with some schools that, hey, if you buy your pass for volleyball, there's a good chance you can use it again next week for semifinal football, which will be on NFHS network as well. So something to keep in mind, but excited to have so many different schools that will be helping along with those broadcasts in the first and the semifinals. And then, of course, NET, again, doing their thing with Larry Putney and that crew coming up on Saturday. So excited to be a part of that, and just excited to head to Lincoln. So we got a few things to pack here at the office to make sure we have everything with us. So thanks again. Very busy, yes. So thanks again to Tony Chapman. Huge thanks to York coach Chris Ericson for joining us, all of our sponsors who make it possible for us to do something like this. We will see you in Lincoln for the 2020 State Volleyball Tournament. That's it for our volleyball preview show. Thanks for watching us on Strive.